So I had to switch back to my iPhone for this video because the SD card in my camera is like almost filled up, so I can't film with that. But we have a movie to talk about, so let's do this. What's up, internet? Welcome to Weirdo Reviews. I'm Jonathan Sim, your favorite movie weirdo, and it is time for a review.
Start looking at the world in a new way.
Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
Tenet was written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and it stars John David Washington as a spy. He works for the CIA, I believe. He's an agent, and he has to do some crazy crime-solving, time-bending adventure where things go forward in time and things go back in time at the same time. I'm saying time a lot, but that's, you know what? What do you expect? So this movie's from Christopher Nolan, and I happen to be one of Nolan's biggest fans. You know what? I don't have any Nolan posters up here, but I have some in the other room. I love him. I love his movies. He is such a great storyteller. Even in like movies where we're like, oh, I don't really know about that. Like I don't know how much of this is working. He is still gonna give you something original, something unique, and something fascinating. And in many ways, this movie is like that. It's original, it's unique, and it's fascinating. It is not one of Nolan's best movies, but it is a very, very interesting film. This is basically like a spy movie. It's an espionage, spy, action film from Christopher Nolan, and he is just basically pulling out all of those spy things. It can kind of feel like a Bond movie at times, and honestly, that's a pretty good thing. Like, you know, he's always said that he's enjoyed watching the Bond films, and there is a great amount of spy stuff in this film, a lot of espionage, while also being a very, very interesting, large spectacle action film with a lot of really unique sci-fi elements. I'm not going to spoil too much about what he does with everything in this movie, but it is really fascinating. Because we have shots where like, you know, it's just one shot, but things are moving forward in time and things are moving back in time, like, and it's the same shot. And so, like, you're really wondering just, like, the whole time, like, how are they pulling this off? How are they making this possible? It's really, really cool. And I mean, I don't think this is one of Nolan's better movies because of some of the issues with this film, but there is a lot to enjoy about this movie. The action is practical. Nolan loves practical stuff, and he does a lot of it in this film. There is a scene where a plane crashes into a building, and you know that Nolan did it for real. Nolan did not do CGI for that. He really crashed the plane, and it was absolutely awesome. There's also a fight scene, and it's a fight scene that's in a kitchen, and like it's much better directed than some of the fight scenes in the Dark Knight trilogy, because like I don't love all the physical hand-to-hand fights in those movies, but this movie, like, he has improved, and it shows. So John David Washington does some awesome fights in this movie. Now, where this film falters a little bit is the story, and I mean, it's confusing. Like, it's probably Nolan's most confusing movie, and this is coming from the guy who made Inception and Interstellar. Like, he made those movies, which are complicated enough, and then he makes Tenet, which is just probably more confusing than both of them combined. And it's kind of strange because, like, you know, you have like this whole inversion concept as it was explained in the trailers. Things move backward in time, and it's related to the object entropy. That's pretty clear throughout the movie. Like, we don't, like, it's pretty easy to understand, like, the whole sci-fi time element. But the actual main story, the actual story that, like, this whole sci-fi concept is, like, interwoven through, it's confusing. Like, it goes from, like, being about, like, a painting to being about plutonium to being about something else entirely, and, like, it's really hard to follow. It's inaccessible, And I mean, I don't think anyone can possibly understand everything that happens in this movie the first time that they watch it. And it's not helped by the fact that the audio in this movie is really weird. Like, the sound mix is not the best. Like, you have like a lot of like loud music, the score which goes blam, like that kind of thing, and the audio, that the actual like dialogue, it's underneath all of that. So you basically hear everything like this. Like, everyone is talking like this, and you need to be able to understand what they're talking about, even though this is what they're saying. And when this movie has so much exposition and most of the dialogue consists of important information that the audience needs to know, and it's barely audible, it makes the movie even harder to understand. So this movie has the best and the worst of Nolan, and so I mean, so the best is like this crazy awesome action originality, and the worst is this like very weird exposition heavy inaudible dialogue. The characters are also a little bit disappointing because like they don't have a lot of development. I keep going back to Inception and Interstellar because those are some of his better movies. And what makes those movies so great isn't just the whole sci-fi element. It's the fact that the characters in those movies, the main characters, have issues. They have like a certain internal struggle that they're trying to deal with. Like in Inception, that was a motorcycle, by the way. So like in Inception, Cobb is dealing with the death of his wife, and like there's a lot more that's like gets revealed about that over the course of the film, and it has a very, very satisfying resolution. And the same goes with Interstellar, where Cooper has like, you know, his relationship with Murph, his daughter, and like it's just very, very interesting conflicts. But the protagonist in this film, John David Washington, he doesn't really have very much at all. Like, he's just a guy. He's just a spy. We don't know anything about him at all. He doesn't really have an arc at all. Elizabeth Debicki's character of Kat, she is the one who's very interesting. She has this whole struggle, but like it kind of feels derivative of what Nolan has already done with his characters in the past. But I mean, she has the development, she has the backstory, and she's the heart and soul of the movie. But as for John David Washington and Robert Pattinson's characters, they don't have that much. But I mean, honestly, it's a pretty good movie. It really is. Like, Nolan has yet to make a really, really bad movie. And this movie is pretty good. Like, there is some insane action, some really, really good ideas in this movie. Some very unique ideas that we have not seen before. And it works really well. There are a lot of mysteries, a lot of questions that are asked in the first half of the movie and answered in the second half, and it's really, really satisfying. So I really, really like Tenet, and I'm honestly gonna have to watch it again. And I feel like this movie deserves that. This movie warrants that. Like, I don't think anyone can understand this movie the first time they watch it. Like, after you watch this movie, you're probably gonna have to do a lot of research, probably gonna have to do a lot of that in order to understand. Then you're gonna have to watch it again, you're gonna have to watch it again, and then you'll maybe probably understand most of it. But this is a very, very complicated puzzle. It's very big, it's interesting, it's unique, it's fascinating, and I had a blast with Tenet. I'm gonna give Tenet an 8 out of 10. Movies! I had to go to a movie theater to see this. Now, my parents don't know I went to a movie theater, but I snuck out to New Jersey, I snuck onto a bus, went to New Jersey, saw Tenet, and came back. They have no idea I did that, and I mean, Tenet is just, it was worth it. Like, this movie deserves to be seen on the big screen. It is worth it. I mean, I'm not going to encourage you to watch this movie in theaters if you feel unsafe, because like during these times, like, you know, there's a lot of dangers to doing that sort of thing. If you're interested in watching this movie, and if you're comfortable going to a theater, and like, you know, because everyone there was wearing masks, we were all like being very safe about it. If you want to do that, go right ahead. If you're not comfortable with that, then just stay home and maybe just watch this movie when it comes out on digital. But until then, we're back. thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like the video. If you like the video, give me a like, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. You know, just do whatever makes you happy. And I mean, just stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. As always, stay weird.
It's reversing the flow of time. Doesn't us being here now mean it never happened? You want to crash a plane?
But not from the air. No one's so dramatic.
Well, how big a plane?
That part is a little dramatic.